Who am I? Well,
Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka, Willy Wonka, the amazing chocolatier. Willy Wonka, everybody give a cheer. He's not as clever and so smart.
statistics.
Barely can restrain it. There's so much generosity. There's no way to contain it.
Wonka, 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 Wonka.
Wonka Watch, a podcast that has been disease plagued and cursed with
Your imagination. Yep. Remember, it's not that important.
Yep.
Dear Elaine and Felicia. Don't know who should be sorry, me for creating this song or y'all's podcast for driving me to this madness. Love it though, 10 out of 10, always a great time, but now I've made this. I thought it would be more embarrassing not to send it, so here it is. Deepest regrets, Alicia. Alicia, thank you for bringing us to the 7th Ring of Hell, which we now know is Wonka remixes, with us included.
I felt like I had not lived until I heard that song.
I had an out-of-body experience where I transcended to a different plane. And it was, well, beautiful might not be the right word, but I really appreciate that you made it.
Yeah. And I want
Very
everybody
cool.
to know that's the song that haunts the locals via the Wonka while they go to sleep at night, and they just hear that song playing a little quietly, and it's
That's
like
what
Willy
they
Wonka
hear.
coming out of the
goodness.
well. It's truly a work of art, and
It's
there's no better way to
amazing.
start this episode than with that. So what is this
Exactly.
episode, Elaine? Elaine,
Yo.
what's this episode?
Felicia. That's right. Felicia's asking me what this episode is because
What a role reversal!
that was Freaky Friday.
All right, back to the
God.
future sound effects, man. All right, we get it.
This episode is Listenerpalooza. We have an episode curated only from you guys. You have provided us theories, hot takes, guided us to products. You've sent it all, and we have put it together like a Wonka casserole, and I'm serving it out. We're at a potluck, and we're going to have a lot of dinner. So much dinner. A Wonka dinner for you. I have prepped for this. I brought candy, Felicia. I have little, because mini M&Ms are better than normal M&Ms. Come at me.
They
I
are.
don't care.
Oh my
And
god,
I
I
don't
just
know why.
remembered when I was a kid, this is fucking insane. Sorry. I just remember, do you know those mini M&Ms containers that are like a little vial and you
Oh.
unclip the top?
Fuck yeah, I do.
So I got one of those for Christmas when I was 5 in my stocking, and I realized because it was a sealed container, it would keep the smell. And I kept that fucking container for like 3 years, and I would pump it and would like recharge it with hot cocoa mix. I'm like, the smell's getting too weak. I need to recharge it. And I'd put hot cocoa mix in it and shake it around for a while. And then I'd open it and go, oh, that's the good stuff. What the fuck?
That is the weirdest thing you've said on this podcast. And I love it because it's the weirdest, most relatable because they smell good and there's nothing really different. They're just smaller, right? Like there's technically nothing different, but there's something that tastes better to me. And I also have some sour candies over here.
Ooh.
But Felicia, I feel really bad. Wait. Mark Wonka taught me something. You ready? It's a magic trick. So you see these candies in my hand? I'm going to put them in this hand, and I'm going to close that hand and not obviously drop them back in the box, and I'm going to... Do you have the candy now?
No.
Go check your door.
Oh my god, did you get my mom involved with this?
Go open your door. I think Mark Wonka might have delivered something to you.
Oh my god. You can't be doing this. Elaine, you can't. Elaine, it's Wonka branded candy. It's Wonka branded candy.
Look inside.
I have Wonka
Look
branded.
inside. What else is in there?
I have 8 tattoo squares.
Yes, temporary tattoos. Listenerpalooza is our version of Lollapalooza. We're having a party, and Mark Wonka, I watched his VHS tape a second time, and that's how I was able to pull that
I
off.
have so many of these, Elaine. The way I cannot explain to you how strong this smells. How truly strong this smells. Well, I do love nerds, so let me open a. Oh, wait, I
Good
could
old-
push a ruler out of this. Do real
Oh,
Mark Wonka style.
yeah.
Tiny fucking
I actually got them for you to only do tricks with. If you can go get 2 brown paper bags. What's your favorite candy? I don't know if we've like fully said that. We assigned our candies, but we didn't say what our fave is.
Well, I'm having some nerds right now because out of this lot, which I've got some M&Ms, there's some M&Ms and some gold coins thrown on top, but then it's a Wonka pack,
Yeah,
which is interesting because
like,
I thought the Wonka
packs-
brand was disbanded. But
I know. I thought that was interesting as well. We like shat ourselves when we saw that. Well, I didn't see. Your mom sent a photo to me.
there's another layer to this because I don't know if I've ever told you this. One of the most insane things my mother has ever said to me, and she said, "You know, I always like buying you M&Ms. I don't know why. I just feel like I always am compelled to buy them for you. So like,
She likes
maybe
the
after I
act of
die,
buying
if someone ever gives you a bag of M&Ms, it's a message from me from the beyond." And I said, "What?"
What?
And she said, "Nothing. It's Tuesday. Let's have breakfast." And I'm like, "What the fuck? It's 9 a.m., Mom."
Someone buys you
The fact that she said this is my trademark, and if you get M&Ms at a random time after I am dead, that's me, baby. What? And I said, that's how you're gonna use your influence on the world as a dead person, is to get me M&Ms. Heyo, heyo, heyo. Guess who it is? It's Editing Felicia, here to give a very special shout out to the creator of this episode's cover art, Amy. She sent in this awesome fan art of all the Wonka Watch First Annual Hunger Games tributes. And if you're on Spotify, you'll be able to see it on the episode cover. I guess if people don't know, I make different cover arts for each episode of the podcast. I just find it fun. I enjoy doing it. But we post them on Instagram, and I think they show up in the player on Spotify. So if you ever wanted to look at those, take a peek. But yeah, we didn't get to talk about Amy's submission in this episode because, no joke, it came in, I think, an hour after we finished recording, which was just... I felt bad. So please check it out. And if you like what Amy did, you can check out more of her artwork on Instagram. She's at amy.stankova.art. So yeah, check her out there and, give her kudos because this thing is awesome. All right, back to the episode as planned. Carry on, Elaine and Felicia from the past.
Here we go. Wonka Watch provided to us by listeners. So I'm going to read this email, and this is a fucking crazy ride. So, hello, Elaine and Felicia. Let me start by saying that my roommate and I love your show. It's the perfect comfort show for any neurodivergent mid-20s-something with too much free time. Accurate.
Yes.
Because of your show, the two of us are now even planning on dressing as Gene Wonka and Johnny Wonka and handing out nerds and Laffy Taffy all night next Halloween. I want pictures. That sounds so fun.
I'm so happy to have inspired this in the world.
I know. It's like, people are like, what's the impact you make on the world? Leave it a better place than it was when you started. I'm like, that's what we get to do.
If you see a few more Wonkas on Halloween, that's us, baby.
We did that. The main reason I'm writing is that I needed you two to know that Danny Elfman is set to play Coachella this year. I hope this information leaves you two just as confused yet giddy as it left us. Catch us rocking out to him singing all of the Oompa Loompa songs. Wish you nothing but the best. Emily and Leo. Thank you, Emily and Leo, for causing an internal crisis in me. Because
really?
I don't know anything about Danny Elfman, so I didn't realize he had like a rock band and
see, I'm a Oingo Boingo girl. I was listening to the car on my way to work this morning.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I saw that and I was like, is that like a Teletubbies bop or something? But I'm with it now. If you don't know, if you're like me and you don't know, so Danny Elfman, he wrote a ton of film scores with Tim Burton. So that includes Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Those Oompa Loompa songs are all his brainchild. But he was also in the rock band Oingo Boingo. Did I say that right?
Oingo Boingo.
Oingo Boingo. But he also recently released his own
The way you
album.
say it makes me very happy. Oingo Boingo. You get like a little accent every time you say it.
I can't. Oinga Boinga. I can't do it. Anyway, so turn around. He's shown up now. You summoned him.
You're like, open your door. It's Danny Elfman.
Oh my God. Anyway, so I was curious because, he has this rock album, but he also has all these film scores and everyone's wondering, what's he going to do? And so I found this article in Variety written by Chris Willman. And the intro to this article alone was wild. So it goes, in a wide-ranging conversation with Variety in his East Hollywood studio, full of bizarre art pieces like Howdy Doody head attached to the top of a skeleton, Elfman took on a broad array of topics exerted here, like why he will never unite Oingo Boingo, how a thwarted 2020 Coachella appearance resulted in a full-fledged return to rock, and how last year's political climate made writing an angry verse even more imperative. It's really dramatic. Mostly 2020, he was going to go on all these concert tours with his new rock album. But then, 2020 happened, and apparently I think he kind of lost himself because he's like, I had the rock album, but I also had a violin concerto. I had 2 world premieres of classical music and all these Burton shows. Yeah. So he had all of this. And when people heard that he would be coming back for the 2022 Coachella, one Redditor wrote, I was so fucking excited to see him. I can only imagine what the stage would have looked like. Was planning on shrooming it specifically for that set. Really hope it still happens. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so, I was thinking like Danny Elfman, that's like, Coachella has big pop stars. So what's he doing there?
Interesting pick.
In 2017, Hans Zimmer did a performance at Coachella.
Wait, for real?
I am about to leave you a link to the performance so you can get a taste. He did and it was genuinely a really good performance. So I'm leaving it right there. Little YouTube video. And basically, he's on stage with orchestra people who are wearing leather. They look like pop stars. They have modern looking orchestral instruments. So like there's this girl with a cello, and I'm going to find that timestamp for you because if you're going to watch any part of it, it's going to be the Pirates of the Caribbean theme song. So if you go to like around 19 minutes.
Is an hour long. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah. No, he did a full fucking set. And he comes out there also with like a glow stick.
Okay. Whoa. Holy shit. Oh, there's a lady going fucking crazy on the bongos.
Oh yeah. The bongos are insane.
Oh my God. There's a guy with a pirate on his shoulder. There's one guy with a full the accordion player has I'm also watching this in 2 times speed, which is making it a lot more intense for me. So the guy has a pirate on his shoulder. Oh my God.
And this is like a main stage. They have a huge screen behind them playing like, it looks like you're in a club. And the cellist is going so hard. Like, and you would never think at Coachella you're bopping out to the Pirates of the Caribbean theme song, but I can only imagine what it was like to be in that crowd.
Oh my God. I would pay money. This is incredible.
Right? So a lot of people are hoping that he does something like this. Like they don't like, I think people would still be like, oh, cool, your music. But I think a lot of people are hoping that the film score mashup that Hans Zimmer did would hopefully, be something he might go for. So that is something to look forward to, is a mystery genre Danny Elfman performance at Coachella. I know YouTube likes to
Hans Zimmer's putting on a fucking guitar. What the fuck is happening?
That's the other thing, because I don't know what Hans Zimmer looks like. I don't know what his vibe is. I just, composer, fine. But no, he's like in it and he's doing it.
He looks like he's about to make out with this guy.
It's really bizarre to me, but I love it so much, and I hope that this continues to be a thing.
I as an Oingo Boingo listener and Danny Elfman, I guess, watcher and observer, I do not think he's going to do any of that music, because the thing is like, I think we're going to get a Nightmare Before Christmas from him, because he sings all the Nightmare Before Christmas songs. So like if he sings the Jack Skellington song, that's just his voice. So it doesn't change, like, you know what I mean? So I think we'll get that, but he's not going to do the orchestral stuff. He's going to do some weird old shit. So he'll probably do his new music. I don't think he'll bring back any Oingo Boingo songs, despite my, I'm putting down a vote for Perfect System personally, but that's a personal thing.
Yeah.
I'm pulling out the Oingo Boingo deep cuts because I listen to them a lot.
Elaine nodded along, knowing that she had a trash taste in music and only listens to top 40s
think Oingo
or things
Boingo is good taste in music. Let me clarify. I don't think it's good.
Felicia at one point with me shared a playlist on Spotify that she calls Rancid Energy, and I have never been so stressed in my life listening to something. You hit shuffle on that, and I was like, where am I? I'm scared, but it's addictive.
Love curating that playlist. It started with the incredible song Cool in the Pool by Holger Suze, which I listen to all the time. I cannot recommend that song enough. It is 6 minutes of an old man, and one of the lyrics are, "Let's get hot." On the dancing spot. Oh, is it hot? I listen to it all the time. Because once you listen to it 8 times, it's now good. And you're like, oh my God, cool in the pool? Are you kidding me? So,
oh my God.
Oingo Boingo is not rancid enough to make it on Rancid Energy, but if they took like 2 steps further, yes, they're almost there. I think there's a few songs that could qualify, but the problem is I added so many songs to that playlist that it's now that all my Spotify Discover Weekly is. So on my Spotify Discover Weekly isn't like a fun listen. God, it's fascinating. It's fascinating every time. It's never a dull moment with that playlist. My goodness.
God, I know. I wonder what my music recommendations are going to be like as I continue to listen to it. Okay. You ready to get into the meat and potatoes of this?
Yes, I'm very excited.
Listenerpalooza. So here's the deal, guys. Some of you guys emailed specifically about topics we will be doing full episodes on. And so we're going to save those for those episodes. We're going to bring that up for that because some of them are like theories or stuff that I think would be fun to include. So if you don't hear it, that's because why. So let's start with something that I think about every night as I fall asleep. And it's, what does Wonka's bedroom look like?
Yes.
Here we go. Here is the listener email. Hey guys, I love your podcast. It's incredibly concerning and honestly something that will take hold of what little mental health I have left, but it's still a fun time. Don't worry, I'm fine. But not entirely, because I do listen to your podcast. There is a theme. There's a theme with you guys that everyone's like, my mental health's deteriorating like yours. It's great.
Hey, it's a podcast of solidarity.
It really is. Like
the other thing about our listener emails is I really feel like we've started a cult by accident because all of the sign-offs are like, may the Wonka rapture be bright. Yeah. And like, wishing you well to our eventual demise. And I'm like, what? Did I just start a death cult? What just happened?
Which like kind of a dream for me, not gonna lie.
Yeah, with all your fucking cult documentaries on HBO.
I've been secretly practicing how to do interviews from jail. Don't worry. Let's just get back to the email. Okay. In episode 4, when you were talking about wanting to see Wonka's bedroom, I had 2 thoughts. His room is either super cluttered and whimsical a la Howl Pendragon of Howl's Moving Castle. Or, and I think this is better, it's barren. 1 bed, 1 little chair in the corner, all off white and plain. The only things on the walls are a couple motivational posters like the ones you see at a dentist's office. They are there to remind him of both aspects of his complicated relationship with his father, going off 2005 canon. They represent the resentment he feels for his father and remind him why he makes candy when the days get really hard. He enjoys it. It's also a little out of spite. They are also nostalgic of simpler times. They represent his childhood. Some are identical to the ones in his father's office where he would wait after school because despite everything, he still cares for his father in some small compartment of his heart. He never wants to go back to how things were, but he also doesn't want to forget where he came from. This podcast has given me Willy Wonka brain rot, which I will never forgive you for, but this was so fun to think about. I love your show. It brings me joy, and I hope you never stop until March 7th, 2023, aka Wonka-Geddon arrives. Until then, I patiently await the day of our Wonka rapture. Sincerely, Isabella Caramadre. So thank you, Isabella.
It's incredible. I was riveted.
Love this theory.
Riveted.
Yeah. With this, more in-depth analysis, do you agree with this 2005 canon?
I love it. I think 2005 Wonka, that's 2005 Wonka's bedroom. And I think canon 2005 Wonka's bedroom. And I think the cluttered Howl's Moving Castle, if we see a Wonka bedroom in the prequel, I think that's probably pretty close to what it's going to look like. It's going to be like cluttered, very whimsical.
Because I don't see Gene Wonka, because in my mind, Gene Wonka and Timmy Wonka are like briefly connected, like it's closer, right? So I definitely see Gene Wonka with the cluttered room. And I also don't imagine Wonka as an organized person, but 2005 Wonka is... That haircut says, I have a ruler on me at all times that I pull out of a nerd's box. So thank you, Isabella.
Wait, did I? Oh, I'm going to demonstrate the trick. All right. What's this coming through? What? Oh, you need to highlight something?
Yeah. Can I?
Oh my goodness.
Did you just pull a highlighter out of a grape nerd's box?
I did. Isn't that crazy?
Whoa. Well, it's bigger than the box itself.
Isn't that insane?
Whoa. I'm blown away and fascinated and want to know more about you as a person. Don't eat it. You just ate the highlighter. Where did it go? The fact that we have the ability to make a listener episode when that's the shit we say is baffling. So speaking of like hot music racks, we probably can't play this on the podcast, but what's better than talking about an audio you can't hear on a podcast?
Oh my God, I love it.
Nothing better. We've done worse. So this came from the reason why I have to read this. It's not like wild or anything in terms of the delivery, but it is anonymous. Yeah. And I don't know why, but I really want to read it in a dramatic way that was not intended. You ready? Mm-hmm. So I apologize to you, Anonymous. I want to do this interpretation.
Hello, girls.
I wasn't expecting that voice to come out of me. And I was
expecting like a saw, kind of jigsaw, like...
Hello, girls. I thought I would share this piece of art with you because it is perhaps the most Wonka-coded piece of music in existence. I hope you enjoy. P.S. Love the podcast. Continue doing what you do. Can't wait for more fan fiction. Yours truly, an invested listener.
This is actually a really cute email. I just wanted to like make it creepy. Like, it's very cute. Sweet. It's really sweet. Thank you. I also, there will be more fan fiction. No one worry. That's fucking happening.
Yeah, no. You can't stop us if you tried. Okay?
Yeah, we're doing that forever. Even if this podcast ends, still writing it. So I don't know if you've had a chance to listen to this song.
I haven't yet.
So I'm going to give you a moment to kind of, piece it together a bit. And I'll tell some people about it. So this is written by Caravan of Thieves, which is an amazing band name. This came out in 2012, I believe. And the song is called Candy. And the lyrics are pretty, I agree, Wonka-esque. I'm going to read the lyrics of the first stanza. Candy in my hands could be like brandy on my breath. It's clearly handy in my undoing, sure as I am standing here. Sunday I had candy, which was one day I felt randy, but had no way of controlling what I did till I saw Monday. Candy, I'm addicted to you, Candy. Now you've got me once again. Crazy from the haze I laid upon my little brain.
Oh my goodness.
Like it's a lot. And then the final stanza is gonna need a lick of honey stick. Gonna need another lick and make it quit. Gotta feel that syrup surfing through my veins. I don't want to have a place to sleep. I don't want to have a steak to eat. Lollipops and butterscotch and caramel and lemon drops. Jelly beans and jujubes and rummy cake and sugar plum and Laffy Taffy chewing gum and chocolate covered. Stop.
I listened to it, and I need you listeners to understand the song. Elaine made that sound like it was very like horrifying. The song is actually very upbeat and like actually very nice sounding on the ears. And I completely agree. That is an incredible Wonka recommendation. And like Warner Brothers, if you're looking for some music to put in your movie, this would be great for a little bit of a Wonka. He's having a mental breakdown over the candy because he can't get his mind off the candy. And you should not have given me sugar, Elaine. You should not have given this to me.
Specifically also wanted that to happen. I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. Let's get her sugared up. I want to drug my co-host so I can have silly funs with her.
These are my maracas.
These are my M&Ms. They stand for mischief and mayhem. Counting them like jewels.
And then Isabella also came back and she said that Josh Groban has a beautiful cover of Pure Imagination. I listened to it and it's like you're getting hugged by a blanket. It's really beautiful. That's incredible. And I think it'd be great if Josh Groban did sing Pure Imagination in the credits or something of the Wonka prequel. I could see that happening. Or whatever the original song is they have. If he can do the dramatic slow version where they, for some reason, all these movie songs they do when they bring in an artist to do them, they have a horrible drum beat and it sounds like you're in an elevator in the 70s or something. Up next, Felicia. Yeah. I think you're going to really like this. When I was looking at all this stuff, I think this might become your favorite. Here we go. Violet Beauregarde should have won. Hi, Elaine and Felicia. You've probably had this article sent in already, but I wanted to share it just in case it hadn't been. It's a fun read and solid argument for Violet winning, and it got me to realize that Violet could have been criticized so much for chewing gum because Roald Dahl may have had misophonia. And since Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is a big reflection of his life, maybe he wanted Wonka to have it as well. In case you're unfamiliar with misophonia, gum chewing is a big... Fucking damn it. I'm going to be honest, guys. I just re-recorded that twice because I can't say misophonia, and now every time I look at it, I'm getting really fucking stressed that I'm going to say it wrong, and I black out, and I'm like level 8 anxiety right now. So I'm just going to...
Keep trucking, keep going.
Misophonia. Gum chewing is a big trigger noise for people who have it. Your podcast is goofy as hell, and I love having it on while I work. Becca. So thank you, Becca.
Thank you.
For sending that in. Incoming for you. Here's this beautiful article. It's
posted, I think, by Tumblr user Ivania. It looks like.
Oh, perfect. Ivania, thank you.
Or Ivana. Sorry, Ivana.
Ivana. Well, we know I'm not pronouncing things correctly this episode, so it's like a fun nickname no one asked for. Have I watched the movie in the last decade or more? No. Do I have an ironclad evidence to support my argument? Yes. So number one, she's the most knowledgeable about candy. She's committed to it and knows her stuff. When Wonka holds up a little yellow piece across the room, she recognizes it immediately. She was able to switch to candy bars for the sake of the contest, so we know she has personal discipline and is goal-oriented. Also, 2 major projects play directly into her strong suits. The 3-course meal gum that Wonka failed to make safe, gum, and the never-ending gobstopper, longevity. Number 2, she's the most fit to run a business. Violet is competitive, determined, hardworking, and willing to take risks. Her father is a small-town car salesman and politician, so she could easily pick up more knowledge and support from him. She's the most sympathetic to the Oompa Loompas. She critiques Veruca when Veruca demands to buy one, which I kind of forgot about.
Yeah.
We love this. Her personality flaw is most fitting for the company. In the sorry, this boy cracks me up. In the moralizing Oompa Loompa song, they just say gum is pretty cool, but it's not socially acceptable to chew it all day. The thing is, we already know that she can stop if she wants, because she already did that to win the golden ticket. And yeah, she's defensive about the perceived impoliteness of her hobby, like when her mother tries to shame her about her habit during a televised interview. But the obsession with candy and neglect of social norms is exactly what Wonka's all about. This is on brand. And you know what? There's only one more point, so I'll read it. Her number 5. Her misstep in the factory is reasonable. Wonka shows everyone a candy he's very proud of. Violet is like, oh, sick, that's gum, my special interest. Wonka then pulls out, wrong, it's amazing gum. So in the very moment before she takes the gum, Wonka has misled her just to belittle her. So when he's like, I wouldn't do that, why should she give a shit what he has to say? She's not like Charlie over here who's all, sure, Gramps, let's stay behind while the tour leaves and secretly drink this thing and has been explicitly stated to fill you with gas and is too powerful for safe consumption. Oh, and also I just saw what happened to Violet, so I actually know what this stuff could be capable of.
This is explicitly about the 1971 film, just to clarify.
Yes, clearly realizing this. So basically, it goes on a little bit more, but it's a very good argument about why Violet Beauregarde was wronged, and I know that that is a very passionate cause. You have, what, how do you emotionally feel about this?
Yeah, there's the way that Ivana ends this is by saying, lastly, can you imagine Charlie filling Wonka's shoes, that passive, naive boy? Violet is already basically Wonka. She's passionate, sarcastic, candy-obsessed, free-thinking, and a total firecracker. She's even better than Wonka because she doesn't endanger others. She should have been picked to inherit it. But that's why he didn't pick her, because she is free-thinking. She goes against the rules, and Wonka, while he's a free thinker on his own, he doesn't want somebody who goes against the vein. He wants somebody to be him, someone he can train in his image, and someone he can say, I made him. He doesn't want Violet because Violet, he can't say he made her. Violet is her own fucking deal. Violet would eclipse what Wonka has done.
Amen.
I am a Violet Beauregarde was wronged truther. I mean, she really, the disrespect put on this girl's name.
It's a bit much. I don't love her as much as I feel like you, or I'm not as passionate. I want to clarify.
My favorite Violet is 1971 Violet. I would die for 1971 Violet.
Oh, wow.
Maybe not, but I would get close. I'd think about it. I'd consider it. Incredible argument that I endorse wholeheartedly. So thank you. That was incredible.
Thank you, Becca. I just want to let you know that for some reason, I forgot that this is a soothing thing I'm doing. My hand is just resting in my bag of small M&Ms, enjoying the texture. It's like a comforting thing. They're cool.
Are they melting?
No, I just did a check. We're good. I won't stay here too long. I'll make sure I move around a lot, but it's nice and cool, and it's a good hand feel. I wish it was the hand-eating fudge from Wonka's book, so I can just eat fudge through my hands. But alas, it's not. I have to use my mouth.
You know what Wonka could have unlock? You know what's my Wonka candy I want him to make?
Yeah, what?
One where you take a pill and then you get to eat a bunch of candy in your dream, and then when you wake up, you have no ill effects on your body. Because
That's
truly one of the best
amazing.
dreams I've had my entire life was where I eat a bunch of one of the best desserts I've ever had in my life. I ate like a whole platter of these like chocolate whipped creamy things. They were incredible. I can't even
Ooh.
describe them to you.
Mm.
And I remember in the dream thinking, I'm going to be so sick. I'm going to be so sick. This is going to suck. And then I woke up and was like, I didn't even eat those. I'm free. And it was the best day of my life.
I still vividly remember a dream I had when I was in the 4th grade. And someone had like broken in the house and I was hiding, but I had a whole bucket of KFC. And so I just ate the whole bucket of KFC, woke up and I wasn't even stressed. Like I remember I was like in my house eating this KFC and it came back to me recently. I don't know what that says, but I've been wanting KFC ever since. It was like down to the point where I could see the texture of the potato wedges. Like the steak fries they provide. And I was like pulling out the like container of gravy to mix up with their like, you know, instant mashed potatoes. Okay. One last little quick thing before we get into the Instagram polls we had. Again, this is a visual, which is great to talk about on the podcast, but we will be posting it. Just wanted to say a thank you to Rob Littlefield.
Yes.
He created a Hunger Games poster. And the intro of this also is a really great, fun email intro. It goes, "Hello. As soon as y'all introduced this episode, I knew what I wanted to do." It was just very like Batman. He created a full layout of the tributes for each district in the first annual Wonka Hunger Games. And he goes on to say, "I've really appreciated all of the laughs, and you guys have become one of my favorite podcasts. I look forward to everything y'all have planned. Thank you so much for your Unimportant, Unofficial podcast." And it was just really sweet.
I love this image. It is so well done. Rob, you've outdone yourself here. This is professional. The fact that you got a high quality. Do you know how long I looked for a high quality image of gay men with dogs? The fact you were able to source one is genuinely incredible to me. And I appreciate you immensely for that, because they're a difficult one to find.
I love that we're microphones. I don't know. I just love that so much. I know our images are like super easy to find online, but I don't know. Honestly, our microphones are like back to back.
I kind of like keeping ourselves a little bit difficult to find so that some people don't know what we look like. And then there is a video of us and they go, "What the fuck? I thought they looked like XYZ." I always think that's fun. And I've always been curious.
I always think that's horrifying to do to people. So I love it.
I think it's fun. It adds to the mystery.
Or my favorite is when you like see the pair and you think it's the other person is the voice,
Yes.
and then you realize it's not, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
I don't think that's going to happen to us. I feel like...
Well, this is something I meant to ask in the polls, but I didn't. But let's get into those Instagram poll results.
Yes, I'm excited. Did I vote in a few of them before I realized that's probably not good? Yeah.
No, that's okay. When I saw you did it, I was like, okay, I can do it too, a little bit. So I asked a lot of questions and we had a lot of responses. High engagement, which was tickling me pink. Yes. So thank you everyone who voted. And I'm just going to go down the line and there's some hot takes in here, Felicia.
I'm excited.
It's going to be so good. It's so good. So I started off, I was like, I would ease people into the mania. So who is your favorite Wonka? And I'm not shocked. Gene Wonka won. 68% of people wanted Gene. 32% of people wanted Johnny.
That's a high percentage for Johnny.
It is. I actually thought it would be more of like a 90-10 ratio. Yeah. But I
will be honest. I threw a vote in Johnny's way. Personally, I did it. I got to go with my heart, go with my soul.
But it was like it was more than you. You know what I mean? Like we had enough people that it was a shocking number.
It
wasn't just you and me doing these. Like we had enough of a pool that this is a legit, like I would say, sourcing of data. This is our Wonka data. Welcome to statistics. And then I asked people if they had read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, because I'm just curious, how are people coming to this? And 62% of our listeners have read the book and 38% have not. Felicia is eating her microphone. That is not one of the candies I provided you. You have a whole fucking bag of candy. You're going to eat your freaking microphone. What are you doing?
Something about the microphone cover that looks so biteable. And there's something I get to watch myself open, unhinge my mouth like a little cartoon skeleton, just like chomp on there. It's nice. I like it. It's comforting.
I like a manager. I just ate a sour gummy worm off of my dog hair covered pop filter on my microphone. Oh wow.
Okay. What were we talking about?
I asked the bitches.
Book.
I asked our Wonka scholars if they've read the book. 62% of people have and 38% have not. And I guess that makes sense. Like for me, I just keep thinking about like it wasn't required reading in my school and it didn't naturally come up for me in my childhood. So I thought we actually might have a few more people who hadn't read it, but kind of exciting.
That's higher than I thought. Yeah.
Maybe because they all read it after we did our episode. They were so inspired by how much we loved it. We were like, oh, you have to go get this right now, guys. You got to read it ASAP. ASAP.
Flashback to me threatening to rip the book to pieces.
Oh, God. Okay. This is where things get a little spicy. So there were so many Wonka candies to choose from. I just went with like top 4 in my mind of, you know it. So which Wonka candy do you want the most? We're going to start from least wanted to most wanted. So lickable wallpaper, 9%. And I think lickable wallpaper would be fun. It would get sticky though. And I feel like the upkeep wouldn't be fun because there's nothing worse than getting like sugar in your hair, like sticky candy.
I'm picturing like the bug sugar catchers. That's what it makes me think of.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. But for humans, so you go to do it and then you're stuck. And then
I was just thinking it would attract bugs, but yeah, sure, that also.
Oh, I see now because I went to like Murder Dungeon and I see now you were just like, oh, there's all these flies. Oh, the ants would not be cute. Ew.
And this is what I mean when I say you're the one that makes it dark, not me, if we look most of the time.
The next candy. Sorry, there's sour gummy worms. Literally, I didn't realize I was flinging these everywhere. There's one like in a candle right now. I'm eating it. I'm eating this like a monster while I do our podcast. This is a dream come true because like I don't fucking care. I mean, I do. I'm feeling like I don't know what happened. I think I just got like, I felt very rebellious in that moment and I instantly am now back to the rule follower. Okay. Up next was the Wonka bar. 22% of people wanted a Wonka bar. Get that nice dilf going on when you eat it. If you don't know what I meant, don't worry about it. Everlasting gobstopper.
I'm so sorry. I now understand what you meant. I thought you were saying get that nice dilf cock.
Do not eat the Wonka bars. Sorry. That's actually exactly what I meant.
I understand what you mean now when he makes the noise when he bites into the candy bar. I got it. We got there.
Dilf bucket. I should have Dilf bucket. Dilf bucket. So I don't know how many people would have wanted the other one, but 22% of people wanted just a Wonka bar. No strings attached. I was kind of shocked. Everlasting gobstopper came in second at 25%.
The fuck?
People want that everlasting gobstopper. It really shocked me. I thought that would be like, I thought it would go lickable wallpaper, everlasting gobstopper than Wonka bar, but I guess people want to be sucking all day. And number 1, I am not shocked at all, was Whipple Scrumptious Fudge Mallow Delights at 44%.
My girl.
I think that's because they sound the most kind of unique. We don't have a ton of those sorts of candies.
And you can kind of picture what that might taste like, you know?
And I love the name. It's super fun.
It's got delight in the name. How can you not be delighted?
And the word fudge mallow. What the hell? What's that? Oh boy, Whipple.
Whipple.
Okay, now we move on to really hot stuff. Who is your favorite kid from Wonka? And I just want everyone to know I rounded up the percentages so it'd be easy. So this probably does not equal 100. Please don't be that person who tells me it doesn't equal 100. I rounded it up because I just don't fucking believe in decimals. It's too much. Okay, here we go. From least liked to most like. Okay, but these are our favorites. Okay, so not hated because I do have the next one is which kid do you hate the most? This is just who's your favorite. So
yes.
Charlie Bucket comes in at 9%.
Wow, he's the least favorite.
He's the least favorite. And I'm wondering if some people did clarify which version they were going for, 2005 or 1971, but most people didn't. And I'm wondering if most people went 71 on that
because
Charlie.
71 Charlie, I don't necessarily disagree with that.
Yeah. Well, and I guess also you could still like Charlie, but like someone else better. And we have evil people on this podcast based on who wins this, by the way. On this podcast and who listened to it. We're all evil. Up next in our favorites list is Augustus Gloop with 14% of the vote. It's a
solid percentage.
It's a solid percentage. And some people did add comments with their votes. So I'll read those throughout. So we had a comment from Simone that says, gone too soon, 2 heartbreak emojis. And I'm right there with you. I love Augustus. I have a Mostly my fictionalized version of him is most precious to me, which is a little sad when I said that out loud. Okay, third out of 5, Violet Beauregarde, 18%.
Oh my
I
god, this is
know.
a travesty.
It's
I
like a
didn't even vote
dagger.
in this one.
It's
This is
my
disappointing. Y'all like Mike TV and Veruca over Violet?
dude. I know. I was kind of shocked. I don't know. I thought Augustus would win, but we had chaotic people voted in this thing. We did have one person explain their vote for Violet. Let her chew her gum. Also, I just love Denise Nickerson's line delivery. That was from Allison from Art History for All, a great fun podcast. Go check it out.
She does kill it with that tomato basil soup.
Yeah, it's like dripping down my throat. I'm not gonna lie.
It has stuck in my head more than anything from the entire franchise. Truly, she impeccable.
Amazing. I resisted making another poll that was going to be soup related. Next listener episode, I'll do it. I was just like, I gotta stop. I gotta keep it in check.
You gotta keep it in check, but keep it tight.
God, I was like, my hands were shaking, trying to be like, don't hit the button, don't do it.
Yeah.
Second place for favorite Wonka kid is Mike TV with 27% of the vote.
Oh my god.
Someone said, quote, he just wanted to watch TV and TBH relatable.
I mean, fair. I'm guessing most people are picturing 2005 or book Mike TV.
Must be. I don't know. I guess I don't know. It's just interesting that Mike would be the favorite, and I'm wondering also if we have swayed opinions here, because we did a lot of like, I think Hunger Games. We really kind of came on the Mike TV.
We like Mike TV and Hunger Games.
We kind of like Mike TV. We kind of understand him.
We had an appreciation for him in 2005. We did we say we like Mike TV, but we did make a comment in that episode about how he was excited having to decide between killing a gay couple or a woman. So it wasn't like we were that nice to him. Let's clarify.
We enjoy the idea of Mike TV. He's a fascinating little boy.
Yeah, but I do enjoy 2005 Mike TV. I would say he's probably my second favorite of the kids. Actually, okay. My personal ranking: Violet Beauregarde 1971, 2005 Charlie Bucket, 2005 Mike TV. Those are my top 3. That's
wow. I love it. My top 3, and we'll get to Veruca, she won. My top 3 would be Augustus, Veruca, Mike. Yeah. I think I have to agree. The chaotic people. So Veruca won with 32% of the vote, and also she won in the fact that she had the most comments. So Liesel wrote, girl boss, gaslight, gatekeep.
Thank you.
Absolutely fucking love that. Someone else goes, her song goes unimaginably hard. And majority of the people commented that it was the 1971 version of Veruca.
1971 Veruca is probably my number 4. She's great. She kills.
Tell you a single thing about 2005 Veruca. She just doesn't stand out as much. And then I had some people answer other. They didn't follow the code. They went off the rails.
Yeah.
And so in the other category, we had Sam said none of the above, and then proceeded in the next poll about least favorite kid to put every single name of the children, which was so chaotically beautiful.
And as someone who knows Sam in real life, highly consistent, and makes complete sense for them.
Oh, or sorry, Sam said this other one. So someone else said none of the above. Sam said something way more intense. I literally hated all of them. Charlie is a kiss ass, and the others just sucked.
Yeah, that's Sam. Sam.
So I love that, Sam. Thank you, Sam. So I guess we should just move on to who's the least favorite kid. This is interesting in how it parallels to the favorites. So just a quick reminder, favorites were Veruca, then Mike, Violet, Augustus, and Charlie, and last, starting with the, I guess, smallest of the least favorite. I don't know, bottom of the chain here. Charlie again at 11%.
Charlie is the least aggressively hated, is what we're learning from
you don't have a strong opinion, I guess, about Charlie in comparison to these other kids, which I totally get. Kind of a boring role in the 1971 version, and then he's just really cute in the 2005.
Understandable.
Next, with 15% of the vote, is Veruca. Someone quoted saying, I hate rich kids. 2000 Mike is a close second. 2005 Mike is a close second. And I was like, cool. Love it. Yeah, makes sense. It makes sense that she would be hated. And then Violet Beauregarde came in third with 22%.
that more people's least favorite character is Violet Beauregarde over Veruca Salt.
Well, she got
Choices.
third. She got third in both of these polls. So I think people are really, it's 50-50 kind of in my mind if you look at it that way, I guess. I'm not sure. But she came in third
Choices.
for both of these. Choices were made. Someone,
Choices were made.
Simone said she needs to shut up. And that is a good... And I cackled. I cackled so hard. I was like, I kind of agree. But I'm afraid of Felicia.
Yeah. No.
Felicia's
I respect everyone's opinions. Everyone's opinions are wrong.
Felicia's going to go into the Instagram account and just start hate DMing everybody who badmouths Violet.
I just say, I just edit in your audio because our voices sound the same. She does not need to shut up. And I'm like...
And I'm like, Felicia, are you okay? Do we need to take away your computer mouse? And then we had a tie for the top two. However, I decided that Augustus would come in second and Mike would come in first as the most hated child. And that is because people had the most comments about why Mike was their most hated child out of the Wonka franchise.
Fascinating.
Yeah, so they both
Fascinating that he came second in the favorites. And also that Augustus is the second most hated.
Yes. Well, he was second. He didn't come in second for favorite kid Wonka. He was bottom second.
Well, yeah. But just that he was second most hated.
I know, which I kind of love Augustus. I think the other ones are louder.
Yeah.
And like I would have thought Veruca or Violet obviously would have been higher up based on the responses. But Augustus got 26% and so did Mike, 26%. And he has comments. So let's get into it. Liesl says for why Mike is the worst, promotes negative cowboy stereotypes. Art History for All said, because he just seems like a little shit.
Fair. I agree with you. I mean,
and then someone, Ray went, want to say Violet to annoy Felicia, but probably Mike TV.
Yeah. That's Ray, who I watched the first movie with and was there for my I said, that's me when I saw
my gosh. I love the chaos of let's try to piss Felicia off.
Yeah.
Which done. They did it anyway.
They all did it. Yeah.
I love it though. So the next poll was, do you think the kids died in the factory? 58% said yes and 42% said no. So it was pretty close.
Interesting.
I think they died. And this was kind of like canon aside. I know in the books, like they're like, oh, they come out, blah, blah, blah. But like
I'm torn.
Think they died.
The Mary Miranda Piker story, the spotty powder that we talked about last week, puts a lot of evidence into the they died category.
Yeah. It's a little
I think his editor made him add that chapter of them walking out of the factory. I don't think that was in the initial draft.
Oh,
That's what I
so follow that. Like it was open. He left it open-ended. He didn't outright say they died. And then the editor was like, you need to please do this.
Make this not a book about murder
and then
cannibalism.
And then Roald Dahl's like, oh, fine, whatever. Goes over to his desk and starts backwards writing all these like other
backwards to make them have to translate it.
There's some like titanium box buried in the ground somewhere with even more missing chapters. He couldn't let go of it for the rest of his life. Every night there was another child that had to die.
He's like, this is how I go to sleep. It's very like Fight Club where he's like, I had insomnia until I went to the support groups, and Roald Dahl's like, I had insomnia until I wrote about a kid dying in a chocolate factory every night. Backwards writing, woo!
What if a child was baked into an Easter bunny and when it was eaten? Sorry.
Fucked up, man. Fucked up.
Up next, who do you think is suffering the most from all this Wonka knowledge, Felicia or Elaine? And to no one's shock, Felicia, you won with 68% of the vote. People said 32% me. And I think that's actually, I think it like, that perfectly shows how much it affects. Like, I think you are 68% affected and I'm 32% affected from the knowledge itself.
I saw that poll and I said, if it does not end up as me, I'm going to start flipping shit. I'm
Same. I mean, I'm not going to lie.
My table, because if that is not clear to people that I am suffering more than like I was at work yesterday and I had to pull up my library account to show one of my coworkers something, and it pulled up what I currently had checked out, and the only thing I had checked out was the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And I said, well, if you had any doubt it was my account, and he said, no, That's pretty clear. And it was kind of embarrassing. Like, this affects my day-to-day life.
Yeah, I was thinking about, I was like, you are most affected, I feel like, in your daily life. And then on the podcast, I think I have the most yelling matches. You've had a lot of moments too, but I think overall, like, I get the most caught up in my emotions.
You have on-air discoveries, but I have to reckon with those off-air.
Yeah,
I have to reckon with those on my own time with no one to yell at.
Like, we end our recording session and I go back to my normal life, and you just like, this is your
listen to the episode again to edit it.
And you have to edit it, and then you also just listen to it in general.
So I'm just very glad that came back up.
I'm very happy.
So thank you, everybody, for recognizing my suffering.
Yes, beautiful. Up next, do you think Timothée Chalamet is a good casting for young Wonka? I was I don't know if I'm shocked by this. 83% of people said yes, and 17% of people said no.
I feel like, did we help convince people?
I think we helped convince people because I thought it wouldn't be as, I don't know. I mean, we had a lot of, I don't know about Timmy T, and then we had the retraction episode once we kind of went through his career, but I would still understand the hesitation there to fully be on board. And I think we're just going to have to wait until we get a trailer to sort of see, because it really does depend on what's the Wonka vibe he gives.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, we think the official Wonka Watch stance. The Wonka Watch press release is that we believe the ingredients for a good Willy Wonka are there, but we don't know whether those ingredients will be turned into a massively selling Wonka Watch scrumptiddlyumptious fudgy whipple scrumple, or will it be turned into a spotty powder, one that makes people scream when they see it and grinds and makes people die. So we don't know what it's going to be.
No, and the
ingredients are there.
Yeah, and God, I mean, if it turns into the Cats of the doll universe, that would be.
I hope not. It's got the Paddington people. It can't be that bad.
It can't, right? It can't. Knock on wood.
I think the worst version is that the movie's just fine. That's the worst version.
That is, like, if they're going to have that budget and it seems whimsical and you have all those people, but it's just like, okay. Like,
I'm talking about for us. Do you imagine the fallout if the movie's just okay? That's going to be so disappointing. I'd rather it be a dumpster fire than mediocre.
Someone just casually in a mall food court, it's like, yeah, I saw the Wonka movie. And then, like, I'm just, we're going to be over there like, I talked about it for 3 years of my life, 2 years of my life.
How did you just see the Wonka movie?
How do you? And they're just
what is
like,
it
it's
like
fine.
Living in your life.
And then you like ask a follow-up question. I'm like, no, but like, what do you think about like this plot line? And they're like, oh, I don't know. I don't really care. I'm like, so what do you mean you don't care? For? What was it all for? Why, if I can't ever connect with the rest of society will never know. Okay, I then asked all of our people, what was your favorite room in the chocolate factory? So from least favorite to most favorite, the Wonka's office, 0 votes. Fizzy lifting room, 0 votes. Wonka vision room, 5% of the vote. Which I was like, interesting. I don't know if we'll get through it and then we'll discuss. Inventing room, 11% of the vote, tied with the bad nut / bad egg room, which someone, Jasmine, came in and said, not my favorite, but the nut room scene in the Depp movie fucking traumatized me. And then we had some sick fucks who said the tunnel was their favorite, 22%.
Dang.
I respect it though. And then number one, of course, is the chocolate room with 50% of the vote.
You gotta.
It's the best room. It has the best decorations. I think a lot of people for this were thinking 1971, aside from the bad egg room or the bad nut room. But like clearly the chocolate room is, in both versions, super fun and magical. Okay, here we go. You ready for this part? I asked people, what is your hottest Wonka take?
Well, this is going to get dicey, isn't it?
So someone with a username, great job on the skateboard, which love that username, brought me joy. He definitely planted the tickets and had a trap ready for each child.
Yeah, fair. The jigsaw Wonka, I think.
Yes.
There's definitely evidence for it. And I don't disagree.
Audrey said, I absolutely love the boat scene. It's my favorite part. That is a hot take. That is, to say it's your favorite part is very
That
brave.
is wild.
Up next is Miss Tabitha said Wonka and the Oompa Loompas planned who would get the tickets and how they would die. So we're everyone's on board
Yes.
with this man planned
Agreed.
it out. State of Alaska said no straight man would dress like that. He's got to be a little bit fruity.
Agreed.
There's just no way.
As the gay representative on Wonka Watch, I was in my car today thinking about this. I was on my way home from work thinking about this, and that's not a joke. That's my life. And I am under the assumption that Gene Wonka, he's like bi or gay, but he is like, he's in a long-term, one of those like historical, like, oh, they were friends who lived together for a really long time with Mr. Wilkins, because he lets nobody else in the factory except for Mr. Wilkins. You know what I mean? So I think they're a couple. And then Johnny Wonka has no romantic interest in anyone ever and is just his own thing. He cannot handle romantic relationships.
Correct.
So I cannot picture that man going on a date. I did write a fan fiction about it, but we'll ignore that.
Hot take from Peyton. The Johnny movie is not good.
That's okay. I kind of agree with you. I actually do kind of agree with you. Like, technically, is it bad? Yes. But because I have a Wonka podcast, I think I've Stockholmed myself into liking it.
And yet I have a Wonka podcast. And I don't know how I feel about it. I guess it's just swayed me more from my pure hatred of it. Next up, my roommate Cameron said, my jaw hurts just thinking about everlasting gobstoppers.
Agreed.
Fuck yeah. And then she also goes, Augustus Gloop shouldn't have been punished for drinking from the chocolate river. And then she went more in depth with me as we were in the drive-through for Dunkin' Donuts, which then ended up the people were like, honest, they were laughing and probably high, and we didn't go there. We went to Krispy Kreme instead. Anyway, so she's going, this kid loves candy. He's told he can eat whatever he wants. Never is it specified he can't have the chocolate river. He was just like, yeah, exactly. So like, there's no reason he should have been punished. And then our last hot take is KT from For Your Reference podcast, a great podcast. The kids got what they had coming to them.
Damn. All right, Mel Stewart.
God, I squeezed them all. They deserved it.
Which was wonderful. So a lot of people are on the same page as us. Wonka is evil, and everyone hates the kids. I think everyone has a bit of Wonka within them, our inner Wonka demon.
Yeah, it's funny. I really don't hate the kids that much. I don't think any of them deserved it, to be perfectly honest.
I think I like them for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. And then the last thing I asked before we get into predictions, I just asked, hey, anybody have questions for us? So some of these, again, are going to be episodes we're doing, but I thought it might be interesting to just immediately get immediate reaction without any thought whatsoever. So Felicia, what would your Wonka death be? Basically your candy related kryptonite. What would entice you so much that you would get kicked off?
Oh my God.
Or murdered?
I don't know. I mean, actually, I'll be perfectly honest, probably the gum. Like, if you told me as a neurodivergent person with a ton of sensory issues that uses gum to like soothe shit and like keep my sensory things in check, if you told me I could get all my daily nutrition needed from a piece of gum and not have to worry about what food I'm supposed to eat ever again, I would be like, that would be life-changing. Give it to me.
Wow.
So that probably would get me. I mean, I'll probably come up with a more elaborate. Elaine and I eventually want to do an episode where we plan Wonka deaths for each other and write little Oompa Loompa songs about the other person's death. But that's going to take a lot of time. So we're waiting for a little bit to get there.
My gut instinct is the chocolate river, that chocolate room I would be going to town in. I started this first episode talking like the first episode of this podcast was about me always having a dream as a child, swimming through a tuna salad. You cannot tell me I would not immediately go to that chocolate river. Yeah. So I think it would end right there.
Yeah, that's where we would die in the Wonka factory as it is. That's definitely where we would
Yes.
And wait. That's why Augustus Gloop is your favorite, and that's why Violet Beauregarde's mine.
Whoa.
Theory.
Whoa. What's the thing about each other?
The kid that's your favorite is the death that you would die in the Wonka factory is the kid that's your favorite. It's true for the two of
having a
us.
moment over here. I've had like a lot of mini M&Ms and like the sugar is
My teeth
fading and
hurt
I'm
so
like
bad,
having these
Elaine.
brain thoughts come through as opposed to those other thoughts that come through eating gummies off my mic. And now it's just like, bro, what does it say about your favorite Wonka kid and how it
The way
has
you
a
just said
deeper
gummies,
meaning?
it really makes it seem like weed gummies. You really keep implying that you are using drugs regularly throughout these episodes.
How do you think I stay high energy for the stuff, kids?
All
Jokes
right,
on everybody. I'm just naturally like this, unfortunately. Okay, up next. Well, someone kind of asked a similar question. I just want to give them the credit too. If you went through the factory, where would you fail as a child or as an adult? I would fail immediately in the chocolate room. So not even not candy specific. Just I would immediately fuck up immediately.
I'd fail in the gum room.
I would lose my ticket and not know how to get there.
yeah.
Someone else asked, design your own Wonka room. If you had a room in the factory, what would it be?
Oh my goodness.
I love this. So I want a secret about me. Sorry, I don't know why that was so silly. A secret about me is I love rock candy.
Oh.
I like, you know, when you go to a fair and it's on a stick and it looks like a crystal.
Yeah.
Fucking love that shit. And the idea of a rock candy room, like I wouldn't want to eat all of it, but I think the look of it and how cool it could be with lighting and stuff.
It could be like a cave. It could be like a cave and they grow like geodes.
And it could be part of the tunnel and like the river doesn't have to be chocolate. It could be more of like a, I don't know, whipped cream or something fun like that. I don't know, but I think that could have a lot of possibilities with it. So that would be the room I'd want to create.
I think I'm going to go with my Mr. Good bar because I love a Mr. Good bar. Is that a Hershey brand product? Yeah, sure. But whatever. We'll pretend Wonka made a Mr. Good bar dupe. And I don't know, maybe it's just like the Monopoly man handing them to you. Because when I picture Mr. Good bar, I think of the Monopoly man. And I used to always call them Mr. Goodyear bars. So maybe there's like a bunch of tires. This is nothing. This is nothing.
You open the door, there's a bunch of tires, and there's one single light. And it's shining on a Mr. Monopoly man holding a single Mr. Good bar going, I've been waiting for you here. Take the bar. Take it now. He crumbles into dust as soon as you take it, and then you're stuck there until the next person comes in.
That's horrifying.
Oh,
Elaine, that's not what I said. He's standing in front of a McMansion handing out Mr. Good bars. That's what I was going to say. He just hands them out. This is nothing. This is not. I love
so
that,
scared.
and I want to expand on it into a full episode where we design rooms for Wonka's factory.
Last question. It comes from Audrey. I thought it was really interesting. If you had to live in the town surrounding the Wonka factory, which version would it be? 1971 or 2005?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Which one? Okay, so here's the thing. There's the two ways. I think 2005's is ravaged by economic inequality, which both have. Ravaged by economic inequality while also undergoing mass industrialization, causing the layoffs of workers. However, very pretty. 1971, much more normal to our everyday lives, but Wonka is treated like a god. So it's kind of, I think I'm going to go with 1971 just because I wouldn't be signing myself up for, like, I feel like I'd be fine. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd live.
Yeah. I definitely went for 1971 for the looks, and it just looked like a nice walkable city where you could be a biker and no one would kill you.
Yeah, I didn't like the whole worship of Wonka, but I'd live.
Okay, well, before the sugar crash really hits, we will move on to our final section of predictions. And we have two predictions from listeners. So one is from Christine, aka your mother. Your mom. She said she thinks that there will be a hidden photo somewhere of Johnny Wonka or Gene Wonka, like just kind of casually slipped into the film somewhere. I really liked that. I think I like the idea of like maybe a silhouette of Gene Wonka somewhere would be great. And then Ray sent us a voice memo, so I'm about to bump that.
So my theory is that there'll be a scene where Timothy Chalamet is shirtless in a dark bathroom going through some sort of emotional crisis. He may or may not punch the mirror. There'll definitely be some dramatic haunting music. Yeah, so that's my theory.
I mean, they're right. There's evidence. I mean, I think it's a battle between the fact that this movie is made by the creators of Paddington and the fact that this movie has Timothy Chalamet in it, because both, they're like at war with each other. If the Timothy Chalamet is like, I'm shirtless in the bathroom, and then versus the Paddington creators are like, maybe chill out a little bit and like eat some sugar and like have a little marmalade sandwich and go to bed. Go to bed, tuck yourself in, put on some PJs, and calm down.
Yeah, I feel like it would make sense for a Timothy Chalamet movie, but I do not want to see Wonka shirtless, and I don't know. I don't know if Taylor Lautner.
But sometimes what we want isn't what we get.
No, and I think I don't know if Timothy Chalamet is like, you know how there's certain people that you have them in your movie specifically to get them shirtless, and that's kind of the main pull for them, like why they got the role.
He's shirtless a lot, though. Well, I don't know if he's actually shirtless a lot. He's just shirtless a lot in Call Me by Your Name.
Yeah, I don't know. And this isn't like any kind of like body shaming or anything.
No,
it's just,
it's not.
I don't know if that's like something they'd be like, oh, we out of our way need to make sure we have a shirtless Timothy Chalamet. It'd just be a little weird.
Especially since this is a kid's movie.
That's kind of where I was thinking. And I was
However, I understand how they arrived at the theory.
Yes, I understand how they.
I don't think they're outright wrong. I think there's a chance.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope there is a mirror punch. And then like you see Dark Wonka emerge and it's like a Jekyll Hyde thing.
The Incredible.
Fuck it. Okay, we did it. What's your prediction?
Oh my
for the goodness.
Maybe someone makes a reference to their teeth aching, because my teeth are aching currently.
I think Wonka prequel. I think Timmy Wonka's gonna cry.
I think that's fair.
Just a good cry.
Maybe he'll be tearing up at the kindness of others.
Oh.
That's very Paddington. That's very Paddington.
I think he's going to cry out of pain and loneliness. But that's just my Debbie Downer.
I will say I've never personally cried at a movie more than when Paddington said, "You've all just been so nice to me and I don't understand why." And I cried into my pillow. I watched... I'm going to say, Elaine, everybody, we have episodes on Paddington coming up, I think next month, and I think Elena's soul is going to be reset when she watches these films. Because are you a crier, Elaine? Do you cry at things?
Yes, I do. I didn't cry for at media for the first 20 years of my life, and then I finally unearthed my emotions, and now I cry at literally everything. So this is going to be rough.
Buy a fresh box of tissues for Paddington, because you are going to be, but it's not sad. That's the thing. It's not sad. You're just cute. So happy for this fucking bear. You're just so happy for this little guy.
You're talking to the person, sometimes it'll just be late at night and I look over at my dog and I cry because I love her so much. It's just a lot.
Oh,
so
girl, you're going to have a time with Paddington.
Well, thank you so much, everybody, for submitting to Listenerpalooza, the first one. We would love to keep doing them, so make sure you send us all of your secrets to wonkarapture@gmail.com.
And I just wanted to thank everybody again for sending stuff in. It genuinely makes my day whenever I get to read stuff people send in for the podcast, and it makes us feel like it's nice that we get to bring a little bit of Wonka mania to your lives.
Oh my gosh, editing Felicia, add in some warm strings to this background.
Oh my God.
I just want to say that as creative people and in podcasting especially, usually you don't get to know if people are listening to what you're saying. You don't know if you're resonating with people. It's a pretty quiet medium. There's not really a way to comment on each episode the way that a blog or a social media post could have. And so the fact that we are so early in our podcasting career with this Wonka Watch, and that we were able to do a Listenerpalooza episode for our 15th episode is mind-boggling.
It's insane.
This whole ride has been wild so far. We did not expect this to do as well as it is doing, because it's about fucking Willy Wonka. It's not about fucking Willy Wonka, but about Willy fucking Wonka. Let's clarify. I have not been great at communicating, apparently, for the past 2 episodes.
You keep just incriminating yourself again and
really
again.
Bad. This is not boding well for me. But anyway, just mostly to not to be like sappy like a tree over here, but it does mean a lot to hear from you guys and that you like it. And I don't, it's the coolest thing. So just, it's rare to so early on or even ever get to have a listener interaction, let alone have all you cool people talking to us. So
An absurd amount of them. So
Thank you guys.
Thanks so much. Follow us on TikTok.